At 17 years old, my entire future was set. Basketball was my life, and I had the skill, the drive, and the dreams of playing on the next level. But then, in one moment, 1 second, one impact, it was all gone. What do you do when everything that you've worked for is ripped away from you? Let me tell you what I did. Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy Sanford. I am an award-winning keynote speaker and business growth consultant, and I want to welcome you to the Mastering Success podcast. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the car accident that ended my dream, but that gave me a bigger purpose. At 17 years old, I was on the top basketball team in the state at Provine, a high school in Jackson, Mississippi. But let me tell you a little bit about the backstory. I had been playing basketball since I was 4 years old. At an early age, my dad put a basketball in our hand, and myself as well as my brother, we enjoyed playing basketball, and we were pretty good at it. In ninth grade, I was pushed up to varsity. I played for Brandon High School. I was pretty good, I would say, and um, we had a pretty good record. We made got some wins, but at the same time, we were not at the top level. And so in my 11th grade year, I decided to transfer to a school called Provine High School because they were the top school in the state along with Lanier High School. They kept going to the state championship. So in 11th grade, I transferred to that particular school, and can I tell you, we had amazing team. We traveled across the United States. I believe on one occasion, we played in Los Angeles. We were one of the top schools, basketball teams in the nation. So my 11th grade year, I didn't get a lot of playing time. We were had a stacked squad, but I was expecting that in my 12th grade year, this is going to be my year. This is going to be my coming out party. But things got derailed. And the way that they got derailed was on my way to school at 17 years old. I was driving. My brother was in the passenger seat. And here we are headed to school. Well, I got distracted. I don't know if I was texting or whatever it was that I was doing at the particular time, but I got distracted. And I found myself going into the other lane of oncoming traffic. Well, in that moment, in that split second, there was a truck that was coming, a pickup truck that was coming, and we hit that truck head on. In that particular moment, me and my brother, we were basically unconscious. We could not move. And when we finally came to ourselves, our car was totally shattered. It was broken in all types of pieces. The engine was basically tore up. The hood of the car flew almost 100 yards away. And by the grace of God, we stepped out of that particular vehicle without major injuries. In that moment, when I stood up and got out of the car and checked my brother to see if he was okay, in that particular moment, the next thing that came to my mind is basketball. Am I okay? Can I still walk? I kind of did a little run to see was I still in condition to run. But then I noticed there was something about my knee that was just not right. It felt loose. It felt, not stable. So I was thinking, I hope everything is good. I got practice today. No time for setbacks. I got to be the top point guard in the state. We're going to the state championship on this year. Well, although I didn't have scratches, there was definitely something going on with my knee. So I went to the doctor. I went to Mississippi Sports Medicine, a place that is down here in Mississippi that checks out all types of sports injuries. I got to the doctor, and an older gentleman walks into the room, has gray hair, and he asked me how's things going. He's kind of joking around, and I'm really not in the mood for that because honestly, I need to know if I'm going to be able to play and what's going on with my knee. So he says, okay, well, sit back, young man, and I want you to just make your leg, just relax it. And he does a procedure on my leg where he just kind of shakes my leg. And he said, well, I got some bad news. You tore your ACL, and you won't be able to play basketball this year. In that particular moment, as a ninth grader, as an 11th grader, 17 years old, I could not comprehend that my total basketball career was over. I mean, imagine spending your entire life on basketball, something that you enjoy. I was very good at basketball. Our AAU team had went to several state championships and won. I I was a great player, and I felt like I had the opportunity to play on a Division I level. But here, this doctor, in what seemed to be just a casual conversation, told me that it was all over. I was shattered. I felt broken. What do I do in this particular moment? I can't explain that moment. It was a feeling that everything was lost. I felt like it was the end in some ways. But I found out that in that particular moment and through that season, that it wasn't the end. It was actually the beginning. I thought my purpose was basketball, but the truth was my purpose was something that was way bigger than basketball. And what I began to do is I began to focus on my academics and most importantly, focus on my relationship with God. I found out that I had a greater purpose than just dribbling a basketball up the court. And that's exactly what so many business owners are facing on today. You pour all of yourself into your one vision, your one plan, and your one strategy. But what happens when that plan doesn't work? What happens when the market shifts and when the industry changes? When things don't go the way that you expected? That's when you need to see the bigger picture. That's when you pivot. And so today, I want to remind you that that moment seemed to be something that would shatter my life, something that I would never be able to get around, but it was actually something that shifted me to a greater purpose. I ended up establishing my career. I ended up developing a true relationship with God. And it was through that moment that that shift took place that I found a greater purpose. And likewise, if you're a business owner, I want you to know that sometimes you face setbacks, but it's not the end. Sometimes it's only the beginning, and you need to just pivot. And that's what I do. I help businesses and leaders do exactly that, to see beyond the immediate losses and to pivot to a greater purpose. So if you're stuck, if you're at a crossroads and you need to rethink your next move, let's connect. I love to help you to navigate your next big shift. That moment that I was in the car accident, that it felt like there was no hope in sight, it was actually a pivotal moment that transformed my life and helped me to become the person that I am today. So, again, this is Jeremy Sanford with the Mastering Success podcast. I look forward to talking with you, and we'll see you in the next one.